Hi, Dad. I've waited a long time to to acknowledge what you gave me. Um, I want I want to thank you for so many great things that you taught me. You taught me that having the answer is nowhere near as important as asking the right question. Um, and you taught me to ask questions, and you taught me that people are interesting, um, and that finding out about the world is good, and that and anytime I asked anyone in the family asked a general sort of question, you would respond with, well, what you need to know about what you need to know about phone companies is that there is a thing called a public service obligation, and public service obligation requires the phone companies to make sure that you can ring the emergency services, and that creates differences and policy implications. You you said that for any given problem, there is a solution that is simple, obvious, and wrong. And and it has led me to become a really good analyst and to look beneath the surface and to understand what's going on underneath the surface. And you would let me win. I think I think the greatest gift that you gave me as this towering intellect who, would explain public policy issues to foreign ministers and prime ministers and defense ministers. You you would let me win. If I could put together an argument that was good enough, if I could point out a, a factual, logical inconsistency in what you were saying, you would acknowledge that. And so there is no intellect in the world that I am reluctant to challenge. I routinely um, challenge the thoughts of world leading scientists in ways that they sometimes appreciate. um, and and I do that because when I was 5 and you were 40, you would let me win. And even though you were undeniably a lot smarter than I was at the time, and possibly forever. And I need to acknowledge other things that you gave me as well. The fact that when I cried, you responded with threats and with, you know, a smack, which still counts as violence. So I got to the point where I couldn't express these things. That has done me a lot of harm. It's done me a lot of harm. And I remember saying to you, one of the rare occasions on which we actually had a conversation about the issues in my life, or we almost had a conversation. I said to you that I couldn't express anger. And you said, well, what's wrong with that? And I said, nothing. until it all comes boiling out in an uncontrollable explosion, which it did, with you especially, and with others. And it poisoned my relationships. As I say this, there's a tingling sensation in my leg, the leg that you forced me to walk home on. Not very far, right? It's only from the car to the house. It was living in the country, so it was, you know, if I was actually able to walk when you did that, it probably would have taken like 10 to 20 seconds. It took me 20 minutes because I couldn't walk because my leg was broken. I need to acknowledge that you would never let me say anything that didn't meet your expectations of what I was going to say or what I was allowed to say. And I might go into specifics on that some other time. I loved you from the beginning and I never stopped. And I've hated you most of my life and I hate you now. I tried, instead of hating you, I tried to hate the social forces or whatever that had taken my father away from me. I spent a lot of my adult life trying to get you back because I knew you before you got sick. I knew, wow, incredibly wonderful and capable you could be. You were my hero, even when you were the most despicable villain. I have a lot that I want to tell you, and I have set up this YouTube channel because I can't tell you to your face. Your face, along with all the rest of you, has been incinerated and the ashes have been scattered. Apparently there's a nice view from there, but my leg was playing up the way it does sometimes, and I didn't make it to the path where your ashes were scattered. I wish for a lot of things. I wish I had trimmed my hair and shaved the beard before recording this, but it was hanging over me so heavily. And I continue to have problems in the shower because I'll go into detail on that some other time, I guess. But showering reminds me of the time when I was in the shower and I wanted to kill myself, and so I don't do it as often as I should. It's going to be interesting to know whether it's useful to be talking to you, but I think you've been a voice in my head so long, I needed to find some kind of way to reply. And so here we are, and we'll see what happens next.